Excellencies, friends, this is a special Council presentation for me, as for once, my report is happy, not sad, positive, not negative, hopeful, not painful. As you know, this marks the 25th anniversary of the Declaration on Human Rights Defenders, an important commitment to defenders which you all have promised to meet. Today I will share with you the amazing achievements of human rights defenders all over the world. But first I want to report on my country visit to Greece last year. I want to thank the state for inviting me and for their full cooperation during my mission. I also want to thank them for their engagement in the preparation of the report I'm presenting today, and to express my appreciation for all those who spoke with me over the course of my visit. During my visit, I encountered a rich and dynamic community of human rights defenders, and I witnessed firsthand their determination to see the rights of all respected and protected in Greece. I learned about the situation of women human rights defenders, journalists working on human rights issues, defenders of the rights of the LGBT community, human rights lawyers, and others. My report makes recommendations to states on how they can better support them. Yet while the environment for many human rights defenders in Greece is generally secure, this is severely undermined by the treatment of those seeking to defend the rights of migrants, refugees and asylum seekers. Defenders active in this area, be they members of NGOs, journalists, lawyers, or ordinary people engaging in simple acts of kindness, solidarity and humanity, are under severe attack in Greece. They are being smeared, threatened and criminalised with increasing pressure and intimidation from the government. Why is this happening? The root cause lies in the government's policy on migration. While the failure of the EU to develop a fair, accessible, equitable system for asylum and migration in Europe is shameful in my view. This in no way justifies the violation of the rights of refugees and migrants and those who seek to protect them from pushbacks and other attacks. Human rights defenders who cite the need to respect international and European law and refugee law are often targeted. One example is the treatment of Panayota Dimitris, a human rights defender from Greek Helsinki Monitor, who I met while in Greece. Since my visit, Panayota has been placed under criminal investigation for facilitating illegal immigration and being barred from continuing his human rights work. His supposed crime, informing the Greek authorities of the presence of persons within Greek territory seeking to exercise their right to asylum. This and other cases should be a course of shame for the state. I urge the government to consider the findings of my report and take action, and I'll continue to follow up. And I hope that I can count on the continued good faith and goodwill of Greece to see them fulfilled. Defenders in Greece are often attacked because they are achieving progress and because of their right to defend rights. Like so many defenders around the world, they are victims of their own success. My report I present to you today, called Successes Through Perseverance and Solidarity, 25 years of achievements by human rights defenders, is full of examples of what human rights defenders have managed to achieve since the UN Declaration on Human Rights Defenders was adopted 25 years ago. In these 25 years, I have seen time and time again that it is exactly because defenders peacefully confront powerful vested interests, because they expose corruption, because they refuse to accept injustice, because they challenge criminal gangs, because they talk about issues that governments want to hide, and because they tell the truth, and because they make good things happen, that they are attacked. Their legitimate, vital, peaceful work often goes unaccredited and unacknowledged. On every continent, human rights defenders are achieving stunning successes in democracies and dictatorships, in cities, in forests and in deserts, and often in the face of terrible danger. In Bangladesh, an organization run by children is preventing child marriages, even though its members receive death threats. Human rights defenders in Thailand have won a major court victory for local communities, which will revoke unlawful title deeds of 23 plots issued to oil palm plantations. In Zimbabwe, human rights defenders have won damages in a series of cases which are holding the government accountable for police brutality. Women human rights defenders in Indonesia played a vital role in passing a law last year criminalizing physical sexual abuse, including in marriage, sexual exploitation, forced marriage, including of children, and the circulation of non-consensual sexual content. And human rights defenders have won significant victories for the rights of LGBT people in many places in recent years, from Belize to Botswana, St. Lucia to Sri Lanka and elsewhere. Discriminatory laws and practices have been challenged and defeated. The work of human rights defenders means that people who have been wrongly jailed have been freed from prison, and anti-corruption defenders in Ukraine successfully campaigned for a reduction in the price of a blood cancer drug, which reportedly fell from $90 to $2. These are major successes, and they deserve to be celebrated. After the outbreak of COVID-19 in Wuhan, 18 human rights lawyers based in China and overseas provided free legal advice and support to families of those who died in Wuhan and Shanghai, and obtained significant compensation payments for the families. Rani Anyan is an indigenous woman human rights defender from the Chittagong hill tracts in Bangladesh. The army wanted to build a 5-star hotel in the area, threatening the local water supply and the displacement of 10,000 more persons. She helped organize young people to consult with local villagers in the middle of the night to avoid surveillance. She and others publicized internationally what was happening, and the military now seems to be backing off the project. Now, for some defenders, just managing to keep going in the face of extreme danger and threats is success in itself. Women human rights defenders, as we know, have been organizing and leading protests for women's rights in Afghanistan, in Myanmar and Iran, despite the extreme risks they face. Human rights defenders working for Al-Haq, a Palestinian human rights organization, have shown remarkable resilience despite office raids, a ban on their organization, and the misuse of legislation to designate them a terrorist organization for which no evidence was found. The tenacity of these human rights defenders and others in continuing to document human rights violations demonstrates success in spite of the challenges. Since I took up the mandate 3 years ago, I have spoken to over 1,000 human rights defenders in small groups of 2s or 3s. Some turned to protecting vulnerable people during the COVID pandemic. Others have saved lives by rescuing refugees and migrants from the sea. Some have advanced the rights of women to bodily autonomy, secured the release of wrongfully imprisoned, brought perpetrators of state violence to justice, exposed the adverse impact of business in the context of land, environment, and indigenous peoples' rights, and made many other vital contributions to helping others. Through imagination and perseverance, with hope and with solidarity, human rights defenders continue to succeed against intimidating odds, and often despite threats and attacks. These victories are usually the result of long-term struggles and are typically achieved in collaboration with other human rights defenders and with a broad range of allies. This year I am listening particularly to the challenges faced by young human rights defenders and children who are human rights defenders, because they will be the ones who will carry the human rights struggle into the future. In 1998, the Declaration was adopted by consensus, and you all agreed to implement it and respect it. Yet in many places, state officials vilify and target human rights defenders in an effort to undermine their work. This must stop. States have to start recognizing the crucial work they do to help build civil and just societies. This is not an impossible job, as we have seen that when states and human rights defenders work together, change is possible. Finally, let me say to all human rights defenders everywhere, I salute your courage, your persistence, your hope, your resilience, and your vision of a better world. When I think of you, I am reminded of the words of the Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw, which you embody. Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it shine and burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Thank you very much.